and they don't do it like me. Like a G, I hold it down for the town I'm at. In a flash like that, recognize I'm back. Strike a match, catch a fire, and moment I decide that's enough for all your lies, boy, you buzz just died.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another episode of Community Corner. For those of you who've never seen the show before, Community Corner is a show where I connect you with business leaders and leaders in the community to kind of understand what they do and how they can help you. So I'm Christopher Lewis with the Lewis Real Estate Group. Today I'm with Steve Schraderbachar at Stearns Home Loans in Ankeny. Steve, can you tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Well, I am a mortgage loan originator here in Ankeny. I help clients all over the state of Iowa buy a home through financing, explore financing options with them, and then also refinance a home that they currently own. So those are the two areas I specialize in. With Stearns Home Loans.
And so if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how would they?
Sure. So call or text to 515-360-5197.
And Steve, so when you talk about helping people with refinancing and getting home loans, what type of loans do you typically see or do?
Sure. So we have the whole gamut, basically conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans for veterans, USDA loans for folks that want to live in smaller populated areas around the state. So we have all those types of loans, and we offer options for all types of credit scores too, depending on particular situations.
Okay, great. Yeah, and so some people, those kind of terminology is a little foreign to them,
Sure.
the VA and the FHA and conventional and stuff like that. So if they kind of wanted a little more information about that, is there any other way that they can get a hold of you besides yourself? Do you have a website or?
Sure. Mortgageloansbysteve.com is my website. And that's mortgage, MORTGAGE, loans, LOANSBYSTEVE.com.
And from that, they can actually go in and apply securely online to see if they qualify, correct?
Correct. Yes, that is 100% correct. No cost, no obligation. Give you a chance to take a look at things, and then once I receive the application, I follow up with clients and be able to follow up with you and help you understand where things are at and what you need to do to help you move forward.
Yeah, and I can attest personally that I think Steve is the king of follow-up. So he does a very good job communicating with his clients and with other realtors and stuff like that. So what would you say, like, what got you into becoming a mortgage specialist?
Well, it's an interesting story. I originally started, I've been helping folks buy homes and refinance since 2001. So this is year number 18. Realistically for me, it really was, I have a finance background, but realistically, I just wanted to be able to use my business and sales opportunities to be able to help clients make informed decisions. I mean, that's the biggest situation, because folks that are going to be buying the home, they're going to be making the payments. So my role as a consultant, as a mortgage loan officer, is to be able to help them make an informed decision about their home. Do they, is the loan set up to help meet their short-term and long-term goals?
Absolutely, and I can't attest enough how important that is, and it's a reason why I like working with you, because I feel like our businesses line up in that route of educating, helping them make the best decision for them. I don't feel like I'm a salesman either. I feel like I'm a consultant.
Correct.
And that's kind of what we do. So, and I know that you always are looking out for the best interest of your clients as well. So so what were the interest rates like when you first got into 2001?
They were pretty high. They were very high. Of course, it was just, but folks did, that's just what it was available at the time. So people really didn't really think twice about it. You talk to parents and grandparents, and they'll tell you all the stories about how high interest rates were back then. And now here we are in 2019, and interest rates are the lowest they've been in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when they were creeping up just, a few months ago into the 5%. People were kind of freaking out, but when I first got into real estate, we did a little history lesson, and I remember like back in the 80s, I mean, they were 16% or more, and so you don't realize how great of an era we're in when it comes to interest rates on home loans and those kind of things.
And I think the biggest challenge is, of course, we've been through some challenging times in the past, 5, 10, 15 years ago, went through a recessionary period that was led by housing. And so, obviously we've made some changes to make sure that we've dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and everybody, there's opportunities for folks to buy a home. It just has to make, everything has to make sense as far as we want to make sure they're in a home that makes sense for their particular financial situation.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more with that. What would you say is a common misconception in your industry?
Sure. So I think the biggest thing is when clients come, a couple things. The biggest thing is clients come to me and they say, well, I don't know if my credit score is high enough to buy a home. And truthfully, we here at Stearns offer financing for credit scores as low as 580. So you can buy a home potentially through FHA with a credit score as low as 580. So you don't, certainly the higher the credit score is, the better options there are available. But a lower credit score shouldn't necessarily deter you from buying a home if that's really what you want to do. The other big misnomer is that you have to have at least 20% down to buy a home. And that's simply not true. I mean, like the USDA program, which is the program for the rural areas, they'll offer financing potentially with no money down. Same thing if you're a veteran. But if you're not living in the rural area or you're not a veteran, then there's financing available again through that FHA program with only 3.5% down. Or if the credit score is a little bit higher, you can go through a conventional program with only 3 to 5% down. So you definitely do not need 20% down to buy a home.
Yeah, so that really makes it really affordable for someone who's like a first-time home buyer getting into, to not have to have, that much money down, to be able to have a little lower of a credit score. They don't have the 700,
Sure.
But they can still, accomplish the goal and the dream of buying that home.
Correct. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is too, folks that are tired of renting, folks that have just feel like they're throwing their money away with rentals every month, have an option potentially to have a home of their own, that they can decorate how they want, that they can potentially have dogs around if that's, their own single family home, where they can have animals and not have to have a concerned pets and that sort of thing. So I really think it's just, having a conversation. I think a lot of folks are scared out there.
Mm-hmm. And
so we're here. I mean, I'm those that know me well know I'm pretty much, an even keel. Here's what we have available. I'm not here to play judge or jury. I'm just here to be able to tell you the facts.
Absolutely.
And so my role again is to help folks make an informed decision.
I think it's great when you lay it out, you paint the picture, and then let the client decide
Correct.
What's best for them in their life. Because like you said, it's their mortgage, it's their house, it's their equity.
Right.
And so they need to make that decision for themselves.
Right.
And I hope they make that decision and choose you to originate their loans
Well, thank you.
for.
Yeah,
Because
I'd love to help.
like I said, you do a great job, and I couldn't think of a better loan officer.
No, thank you. Appreciate that.
To support here and to talk to. So Steve, what would you say? In our industry, there are a lot of national lenders.
Sure.
There's a lot of local lenders. There's a lot of realtors, and there's just a lot of us out there in this industry. And so a big important thing is things to set you apart from your competition or just from other people in your industry. What would you say that you think sets you apart from anyone else in this?
Well, there's a lot of great lenders here, and a lot of great loan officers, a lot of great real estate agents here in the central Iowa area. For me personally, what I work really hard on is being able to help the client not only make an informed decision, but be in touch with them on regular basis throughout the process. From communication standpoint, if a client's calling me or emailing me or texting me to find out where we're at in the process, that's just not acceptable to me. There should be no reason why they would be calling. Same thing on the real estate agent side. There should be no reason why you would be calling me to find out where we're at with the home buyer. So that's what I work really hard on. I mean, I have systems in place to be able to stay in contact with my clients at various milestones throughout the home buying and refinance process. And then on top of that, also communicating with agents on both the buying and the listing side, so that everybody's in track with where we are and where we have to go yet. So there really shouldn't be any issue with regard to not knowing where we're at in the process.
And I can tell you that I absolutely agree with communication. I think is number one in this thing, because there are a lot of moving parts. And when you're communicating well with the lender and the realtor and everybody's on the same page, it makes the deal go so much smoother. And I don't think people understand how important sometimes communication can be. And
plus, as the home buyer, you're very excited about the process. you're getting ready to move, so you've got to get all your papers, everything packed away. So the last thing you want to worry about is when a lender calls you and says, oh, we need this document or we need this document. So I work really hard to make sure that we get everything that we need up front, so that we're not asking for documents down the road that we should have gotten up at the very beginning. Because you as a home buyer are very concerned about getting everything ready to go for the big move, and we just don't want to have those last minute interruptions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you, I remember, gosh, was it 2009? I think was when I bought my first house, and Steve was my originator then, and actually my mom's too.
That's right.
We ended up closing within a few days of each other, I think.
Yeah,
so
that was
that's how I don't remember how we met, but I'm glad that we did.
Yeah, we've kept together, over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, awesome. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in, and see you next week.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling. The feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is new. And I'll have more ideas for you. And you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too.